Hi, everyone. This is reJUVEnation, episode 13, and I'm here with a familiar face, Daniel. Thanks for coming on again. If you want to introduce yourself.
Hey guys, Daniel Lucci here. Second time on the pod. Looking forward to talking some Juve, some Champions League, Porto, and hopefully we come out on top.
Let's hope so. So we go into this Juventus Porto match um, on the back end of the first leg in a 2-1 defeat. We got the crucial away goal. However, we got to go into this one hoping that we don't concede. So a little bit of a stat here to think about is that Porto scored at least 2 goals in their last 5 matches out of 6 in the Champions League. So I mean that's a pretty impressive stat for a team that um, bases their play on counterattacking football, and considering that they were in a group with Manchester City as well, something to think about because we really can't concede. Um, in terms of Juve, there's been over 2.5 goals scored in our last 5 games in the Champions League, in general. So that's kind of going both ways. We definitely need to be on the end of the better end of that stat uh, in terms of the goal scoring. So it's safe to say, as far as statistics go, there's probably going to be a few goals in this match.
hmm
Um, what do you think of that? More than 1, 2 goals, over under.
I yeah, I can see a score. My main concern will be stopping them on the counter, and I know we've spoke about that before, and I'm sure it's been an issue for pretty much everyone practically all year. You can tell us on the counter is shaky defensively, I guess you could say.
Yeah, for sure. However, we do have the best defense in Serie A, but sometimes it doesn't look like we're as organized as we'd like to
hmm
be. And in Europe, it's just a different ball game. I think in general, teams are more attacking and less defensive in their approach, and I think that's beneficial in Europe. So hopefully we can uh, stay tight on the defensive end, because I do feel like it is going to be Porto waiting for us to slip up. Um, so usually we go into some pre-match comments. However, we're going a day before, so nothing to say on that end. I could imagine Pirlo and whoever he brings to the press conference basically, gives us that fluff saying, we're gonna fight and we need to score and be attacking. I would imagine he updates the Juventini about our injury issues. What do you hope that he says, or what, like, the tone of the press conference?
I do hope Pirlo has mentioned about trying to come out, score some goals. Try to get on the front foot. Right, we can't sit back and let them come at us and try to hit them. We have to go at them. There's no question about that. So I hope to see some progressive play, like we saw against Lazio. We started slow, but we grew into it and kind of held our own for a good portion of the game.
100%, I agree with that. Definitely need to control the pace of the game and really take the game to them. There's no more waiting around. Um, so the starting lineups, nothing really circulating in terms of a formation or actual depiction of who who's predicted to line up. I kind of just made something that I would go out with, or in a mixture of what I think that Pirlo is gonna do as well. Um, so I would go as a 4-4-2, and I'd line up with Chesney in goal, uh, Quadrado from right back to left back, Quadrado, Demiral, Bonucci, and Alexandro. And just a note that Demiral, Bonucci, I would interchange with honestly whoever is fit enough to
hmm
play those two center backs. If you're telling me that De Ligt and Chiellini are 100% fit, those would be my two, like, probably hands down. Debatable between, having Bonucci there depending on if Arthur's fit. Uh, but moving on, I would have a midfield, or the four midfielders line up as McKennie, Arthur, as he's reported to uh, be fit enough to start,
Mhm.
Rabiot and Chiesa, and then the front two, obviously, Ronaldo and Morata. And there's multiple reasons that we can get into as to why I went with this lineup. But first, what do you think of this lineup?
Yeah, I think that's pretty spot on with what we have available. Um, the couple tweaks I would make, I don't like. I know McKenny has been an influential player to us, but he doesn't look 100% from the past few games. So I don't know if he can really give us a full 50, 60, 70 minutes. So that maybe Ramsey slides in there. I know many are on the fence about this, but I have liked Bernardeschi's game the past few days, or past few games. So I would give him a nod over Sandro. And if Delit is 100% and can go, I'd probably start him over Demiral and go him and Bonucci. I can't see Collini starting this game, probably maybe not even featuring at all. But if you need him, the last 5-10 minutes, sure, give it a shot, see what you got. But Quadrado remains, Rabiot, Artur, and Chiesa on the left. Yeah, and the front two obviously would be the same for me.
Yeah, pretty I get pretty much in agreement, I guess. However, I feel like I knew this was gonna come up, so might as well get at it here. And I'm in no way I mean, a Bernardeschi hater, or why would I ever want a Juve player to do poorly? That just doesn't make sense to me. And I even see people celebrate when people on our team get COVID or something, or injured. And we saw that a lot with Kadira, as bad as he was, and as much as we didn't want him to play. It's there's a line that you shouldn't cross. So I'm in no way, uh, a Bernardeschi hater. I don't think that he should be playing left back in general. Potentially against weaker opposition, but even I would even make the argument that I wouldn't put him as a left back. um, and even more so in this match against Porto, I would play Danilo, because Porto basically love playing on the right side. In the Champions League specifically, they've played 45% of their attacking play on the right side through guys like Corona, um, and Oliveira. So I'm not sure playing Bernardeschi would be the smartest move. I do think we'll enjoy majority of the possession, which may work in our favor, and decrease the defensive responsibilities of the entire back line, because I think we'll have more of the ball. Um,
Yeah, but do you
but
really think Sandro will keep up with those guys any better than Bernardeschi can? Like we've seen Sandro, like he's been great as that center back these past few games, and I feel like that's more suited to his style of play now because you're asking less of him going forward, right? He makes the easy pass, he stays mostly in one general area without having to get into the attack, get involved. Whereas Bernardeschi, you can see his energy getting up in the field, trying to get involved, make passes, putting crosses. Like if we're controlling most of the game, then why not have an extra guy getting involved in the attack? Whereas most of the time Sandro's going to be sitting back, or busting along, try to get back or forward or whatever. Like I know you've said it yourself, he doesn't look like the fastest guy, the guy who can get up and down the pitch very easily like we can see Quadrado do. So that's one of my reasonings to playing Bernardeschi ahead of Sandro.
100%. But I want to raise this point because I feel like, regardless of what you and I think, it's going to go this way because of this reason. There's no Danilo to play that role that Pirlo loves, the one center back to push forward and play. And so Alexandro, I think, is going to have to play to play that role because of the absence of Danilo. He's going to, in my opinion, convert into the center back when we're moving between the
Mhm.
hybrid, 3-5-2, 4-4-2, and push up as an extra midfielder the same way we see Danilo do all the time. And Pirlo obviously loves this tactic. And I'm not sure if it was the Porto game, or I can't remember which game, where Danilo and Sandro were both playing and they both did that. Or it might have been against Inter in the second leg of the Coppa Italia, where they were both extra midfielders pushing forward. And I'm not sure, what it is about this tactic that Pirlo loves to employ. But it's proven that he is good. He like that is a thing for Pirlo, and so that's one reason why I think that he starts for sure, because I can't see Bernardeschi doing that. Shifting into a three-man defense when we transition into 3-5-2, 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Um, so regardless of like what I think about it or what you think about it, I think that's one tactic that isn't going to change. And I think that he's going to put that responsibility on Sandro for that reason.
Mhm.
Um, so that's my
So so then why not, if McKennie's not 100%, why not play a real 4-4-2 and then play Bernardeschi higher?
yes, that I would be okay with 100%. And I have this kind of written as well, that I'm not against Bernardeschi not playing, but I just wouldn't play him as left back. And with the inclusion of Bernardeschi on the left side as the coverage in the 4-4-2, it would allow Chiesa to go on his favorite right side as well.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
100% not against that. Um, but I wouldn't be upset if Bernardeschi comes off the bench. It
Mhm.
all depends on who's fit. 100%. We
Yeah.
we don't really know the status of the players, and it seems like we're getting key players back. But like you said, McKennie, even when he has played, 75, 90 minutes these past few games that he has, he looks like he's still suffering from a
Yes.
knock.
Yes.
Um, but at the same time, like this is kind of this not kind of this is do or die. So
For sure.
if he can give you 60 minutes, then you need to start him with that 60 minutes. Like, he's not going to be an impactful sub, in my opinion. Like, McKennie is not
Right.
an impactful sub. Um, at least Bernardeschi offers like width and a different dynamic in the attack
Mhm.
off the bench as opposed to McKennie.
True.
So
I agree.
that's my little take on, regardless of what we think, I really do feel like Sandro is going to play for that reason. And I do feel like you still don't know how the game is going to go. And I think Porto, love their wing play, um, and their flank play. And I do feel more secure with, Sandro defending the left back as opposed to Bernardeschi. I don't think that Sandro is going to offer much support going forward on that left side. We haven't seen that from him in years, and it kind of is like, it sucks because Ronaldo benefits off a guy, making an overlap and sending in a nice cross on that left side. So that's my little take on that. And on the left back discussion, because I know I was getting some heat today about Bernardeschi, but um, you have to give the guy credit for the few games that he's played. Um, I don't think he's done enough to have a concrete shout to be a starter. But you can't hate the guy for contributing, and obviously Pirlo likes him. And not even just
Mhm.
Pirlo. You look at the past few seasons, and Allegri liked him. Sadi played him. So I mean, if you contrast to to a guy like Dybala, who has had issues, getting in the lineup, um, you can see, maybe Bernardeschi's offering something that we might not see we might not see overtly. It could be something going on in practice and his work ethic and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, not fully against it, just not as left back. Um, what's your take on Arthur and potentially Bonucci coming into the lineup?
Um, See, I've had this conversation before, and like Artur is has been impactful when he's in in the lineup. You can tell he's a like he's calm in the midfield. He can hold possession, make the easy pass. But then again, I still don't trust him as a regular defensive midfielder, a regista. And I know right now we have no other options. But then again, like you said, on the counter attack, that might leave us a little shaky. I would think it's going to be Rabiot beside him or pivot, whatever, which is a little better, but maybe that duo will be better than Betancourt and Rabiot. Like we've seen, they haven't been very good. But you do need Artur to play. Unfortunately, we don't have a real regista to put him with, which I think would benefit him also, to get more involved in the attack. But he definitely needs to play if he's capable of. Bonucci, if he's ready to go, I think he draws into the lineup as well. We don't have a defender that can pass like he does, although, of course, again, his, a little liability defensively sometimes. But again, if Delit is healthy and, those two, we've seen them, last year and other times this season, they're a decent duo. If he's not, we put our trust in Demiral. He was good against Lazio. He wasn't tested overly often, but he when called upon, he was good. And
I mean, he got tested on
the
the
goal,
counter attack and fluffed his lines a little bit.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
he was put in a difficult position that he shouldn't have been put in.
mhm.
However, he got turned pretty easily, and I mean, if that was Bonucci there, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, see, I think if Bonucci was there, he probably would have got a lot of hate for that. But people don't want to give the hate to Demiral because he's still young. He's still whatever. But then again, I kind of feel bad. He's defending one on one, and he didn't really have any time to set because Kulizeski turned it right over to Correa. So
Hmm.
if you get too tight to Correa, you take him down, you give up either a red or a PK, a free kick, whatever. Um, it's a tough situation, but ideally for me, it would be if Bonucci's fit, he's in. If Delit's in, he's fit. I mean, if Delit is fit, he's in,
Mhm.
and Demiral is the third option if everything goes well.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think Chiellini is ready as much as the
Yeah.
reports say, and I mean, you should have enough with those pairings, if the other guys are fit to get the job done. Really,
Hmm.
like I said, I really do feel like we're gonna control the game. It's just about having the confidence and being comfortable from minute one,
Yes.
not from when we get scored on. And that's a big issue. That's been the theme this entire season, and it is concerning to me.
Yeah.
As much as the 3 points here and there mask it, um, especially in the Champions League. Those mistakes are they way more.
Yeah.
Uh,
We need to be aggressive from the first minute to the last. Like we saw against Lazio, we weren't aggressive until we pretty much went down 1-0, right?
and that's the
And
problem, though.
exactly, and same with Porto. We didn't show any type of energy, enthusiasm until we went down 2-0, or even later than that. Um, so you need to see that change. That's for sure.
So I want to talk about some key players here. Um, and I want to talk about Juve's key players. This pod, I really want it to be about Juve because we look at the opposition so much. We look up at the table in Serie A and depend on other people and things like that. This needs to be about us, and we need to show our worth. Like not about other people, other teams, other players. We have the guys to I feel like unlock this tie.
Hmm.
We just gotta get clicking, and we have no time to figure it out, or else we're gonna pack our bags again and have an early exit to a weaker opposition. Uh,
Hmm.
let's just say it how it is. So we'll start with Morata. So he has 6 out of our team's 15 Champions League goals, which has a contribution rate of 40%. and he currently sits fourth in the Champions League in this stat. Um, he's picking up a little bit of form going into this tie. 2 goals on the weekend with an assist. How important is he gonna be? I feel like, and we had a discussion prior to the Lazio game about his inclusion, while Ronaldo not being there, and how he could fare maybe better with the guys around him than potentially Ronaldo would.
Hmm.
I mean, that's up for debate, and I'm sure a lot of people would have a lot to say about that. But really, the question here is about Morata, and how he's been different than from what we've seen at Juve personally because of his first stint with us, but different as a player in general. And I wonder how much that's down to Pirlo.
Yeah, I think they have a great relationship. From playing together to now, you can tell. In his press conferences and previous things, he said Morata. Like he enjoys. I know he said this about going to Chelsea and Atletico and whatever, but it seems like he actually enjoys being at Juve. A real Juve fan, a player that wants to be here, that wants to win, and you need those types of players, right? And they give that little extra, and you can tell the difference he makes to this Pirlo system when he's in the lineup. When there's no real number nine, it's like you got two guys coming in off each flank, and there's no real focal point up top. You need Morata or a secondary number nine just to have that hold up play, to have that focal point. And I think now that he's 100%, I think he'll be huge in this one.
And so we can't talk about Morata without talking about Quadrado. Quadrado is first in assist in the Champions League this season with 5, and he's a right back. Been playing as a right back, and the rest of the guys in the top 5 are midfielders and wingers. So I mean that's pretty impressive to me. And the partnership with Morata exclusively is the best in the Champions League. So they sit at the top in terms of assist to goal. So uh, Quadrado has assisted Morata 3 times, and so they're kind of like the top partnership in the Champions League for that conversion. So I think he offers another dimension on if him and Chiesa are on separate sides. I feel like that's just amazing to have because
Hmm.
when they're on the same side, which doesn't really I feel happen often because of Quadrado's liability in defense, but it gives you two routes to the goal. Not just putting all the pressure on Chiesa to get things going. And it's clear that Quadrado and Morata have been clicking, and we're really developing something not only in the Champions League in general, in Serie A, and we saw in the the Super Cup. Um, they're just clicking together. So
Hmm.
you know I think that you need goals, and he needs to be on that right side as much as he's not that much of a favorite in my opinion. Um, but to me, he's essential in getting things going on the opposite side to not be so reliant on 1 or 2 players. We then have another creative aspect to break a team down because I essentially think we're going to need to break this team down. They're going to, sit back and try to absorb. And we need players in Europe who can just turn it on at any moment, provide that assist or that breakthrough. And so, I think there's only positives to have them when we need goals.
Hmm. Yeah, I hope uh, um, at least he plays better than he did against Lazio. He was not at his best. Maybe that's due to a little rust coming back off, an injury. So hopefully he shook off the rust and he's ready to go for Tuesday. Yeah, you need someone as much as we've seen Chiesa deliver balls into the box or Bernardeschi, when Cuadrado hits one and he hits it well, like it's almost pinpoint, right to the guy's head. So we're definitely gonna need some more of that. Um, but then again, we got to be careful of the counter. If he turns it over, which we have seen him do numerous times, we just he's got to get back. Someone's got to be covering him because that's gonna might be our downfall. That's the only thing I'm concerned about.
Yeah, and I mean at this point it could happen from anyone. And I think that's the bigger issue.
Hmm.
We kind of expected it from Bentancur, but I didn't really expect that from Kulusevski over the weekend.
True.
Um and just our first halves in general um are haven't been good, and I hope with the inclusion of Arthur, potentially Quadrado can have someone to resort to if he gets into that problem, who can actually protect the ball and feel confident enough to shield the ball.
Yeah.
Um, so I think the key guys coming, like the guys that are coming back and hopefully fully fit, um, is just going to be key to not only this game but to the rest of the season.
For
Um,
sure.
and I mean, you can't talk about key players without talking about Ronaldo. Um, he is fourth in shots per game with 3.6 in the Champions League so far this campaign. And, that doesn't mean much unless you're hitting them in the back of the net. However, what I do think this signifies is the urgency in Ronaldo. Um, he wants to score and create not only for his teammates, but, he wants to score himself. And we often see him, take the ball from the left and try to cut in and hit a ball low on the ground. And we've seen it a bunch of times where no matter what you know about what he's gonna do, because he's always gonna try to go on his favorite right foot cutting in from the left. He still finds a way. And so it's hard to count him out, especially in a Champions League game. And I guess the reporter asked him something in regards to the Champions League, and he's like, "I'll see you on Tuesday." Like, just ice cold, uh, like we expect him to do. And
Yeah.
we all know that the Evra story about when we were down to Atletico Madrid. So I mean, it's hard to count this guy out. Um, and then we're mentioning all these key guys, and we haven't even got to Chiesa. So
Hmm.
it's hard to find excuses if all of these guys are playing and they're fit. It's easy to find an excuse if guys are carrying knocks. But if all of these guys are fit and ready to go, um, surely it's enough.
Well, that's what we thought the first game too, though. No.
Yeah, I mean, it should have been enough the first game as well. Um, but I really do think that Arthur is a key difference maker in
Hmm.
this play. Like there's no one who possesses the ball like him, and he's okay with doing it. Like, you know, Bentancur gets the ball in that position, and you want him to give it away because it's gonna end up in the opposition's feet
Hmm.
and lead to either a chance or a goal. You know, with him, it just feels more secure. And I feel like he can get things going in a more confident way, and he wants the ball. Like he
Hmm.
actually,
Yeah.
like,
It's true.
when guys overlook him and pass to whoever's next up, he like kind of goes like this, like he wants the ball all the time. He's not a coward when it comes to that.
Hmm.
Bentancur hides away from the ball. I think it'll be a different game with Arthur. I hope that's the case, and we're not just kind of boosting on the few times that we've seen him, because we haven't seen too much of him. But I really do think that with all of these guys back in the lineup, including Bonucci, especially because we're going to be high up the field, because I think we're going to control the ball. And
Hmm.
Bonucci and Delict are kind of perfect in that approach as opposed to Chiellini. I really do feel like this is enough uh, to to get the job done.
Yeah. I I I don't see how, especially after that win against Lazio, like how the morale, the motivation will be low after this game. Like you said, the Ronaldo, I'll see you Tuesday. Like, tell me this guy's not fired up. We know he gets fired up for Champions League, but now, in Port against Porto, sorry. Um, and he got taunted towards the end of the first leg when he didn't get that penalty call. The defender taunted him a bit. So like I don't see him not being you know motivated for this one. And I think same with Chiesa. Every game, every time he's on the field, he looks motivated to try to do something. So the pieces are there. They gotta break down this. Porto's going to be very tight and try to hold the ball, hold them, try not to let them through the lines and all that. But you have the creative pieces to run at defenders, to put in balls into the box. You got two big guys up top that can win you balls in the air. So take it to them, and you should be able to score one. I think once they get the if or when they get the first one, the second one will follow shortly. That's how I see it.
I hope that's the case. We'll get into predictions very shortly, but um, just about I think we're both on the same page with our approach to the match. I really feel like we need to be controlling the match. It's different if we're going into this match, uh, 2-2 it
Yes,
from
absolutely.
in Porto. Then you can sit back, and that's when I would sit back and counterattack. People may not be in agreement with that because they like this positive football, but I would definitely that would definitely be my approach in that case. But this, you really, from the minute zero, like,
Yes.
they need to show that this is not a joke. Like, this is not a joke. Like, say what you want about rebuilding. You know, it's a rebuilding season, and you have inexperienced coach, and a thin squad, and a squad that isn't that great, this and that. But we need to stop making 1,000 excuses for this Juventus team. Um, the goal, like, if the like, you're telling me the goal is not round of 16. Like, you're telling me before the season started, the goal was not, like, at least make it out of the round of 16. Like,
Yeah.
that's I'm not buying that. Rebuild or not, I'm not buying that. Um, and I honestly don't even think that the goal was top four. Um, I'm pretty sure, I feel like the goal was Scudetto, but I mean, you can argue that, but for sure in the Champions League, I feel like the goal wasn't get knocked out in the just past the group stage.
Yes.
So we need to stop making, I think, excuses for ourselves. Uh, we should be taking this game by by the horns, and be thankful that we didn't draw a team like Bayern Munich. And we need to show that for once. We need to really dominate these smaller teams, because not even with just this team, Juventus in general always seem to play down to their opposition.
Yes.
And I mean, you can also argue the Azzurri doing that as well. And
100%.
it's really frustrating, to keep making, to keep seeing the excuses that are being made for this team, when you do have the personnel. And if we were if we were going into this Porto match, the way we did against Spezia, or uh, to some extent Lazio, then okay, Danilo as center defensive mid, that might not work. And the leash can be a little longer. But if these guys make it and come back into the team, uh there should be no excuse in my eyes. But it's all about the start. It's
Hmm.
all about the start, and how we look in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes. That's going to set the tone of the game. And I personally think if we concede even one goal, we're not making it out. I don't know how you feel about that.
Uh, it's tough. It's tough. I could see them. The only concern, I could see them scoring two, but if they give up that one and it goes to PKs or extra time or whatever, I'm not so confident at that point. So I'm kind of with you on that one. Um, yeah, the clean sheet is huge. Is huge, and you have the pieces. You have good center backs. Whether who doesn't matter who's starting to be able to deliver that. a good goalkeeper to go with that. So the clean sheet will be huge. You know, there's no other way to put that. Yeah.
The only way I see us, advancing with them having a goal against us is we're winning 3-0, and at the end they get a consolation goal. That's the only way. If we're down at any point, we're down and out, in my opinion. Um, and 1-1. I don't know, 1-1. I guess it depends at what point in the game, but I
Well, if
really.
you're 1-1, you have to go at it regardless. Like
Yeah,
even
but
if it's, like you have to go at it. Period. No matter what the score is.
yeah, for sure. But I mean, like, 2 goals is a tough task. That's
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
really feel in this team right now. And I mean, despite my prediction, which is 2-0, um, I do feel like if we are the one to set the tone and get an early goal, I really think the game will open up a bit more, and Porto will have to be forced to attack. And
Hmm.
so like we've been saying, that the key is the start. Like, it's so important to be one up, at the half. That would be beautiful, because they
Yeah.
have to go for it, Porto. And all of our goals so far, lately, have been against the run of play. I mean, look at the game against Lazio. Everything we created that was significant was against the run of play. Um, Even leading up to the penalty shot, the first goal was against the run of play, um, and Morata's goal was against the run of play. So, the counterattack is huge for us. So I think if we start well with a 1-0, the game will open up and we could even score 2-3. But
Hmm.
if we go down at any point, it's not going to be good. So, my final, I guess, prediction is 2-0 Juve, with Ronaldo and Morata on the score sheet.
I'd say 2-0 as well, but I'm going Chiesa first, Ronaldo second
Of
would be
course
my
you are.
call. Yeah.
Of course you are.
Yeah. He scored the goal in Portugal, so I got to go with the hot hand.
That's fair. And what a significant goal that may turn out to be.
Could be huge.
Definitely, regardless of what happens, that goal gave us hope, because
Hmm.
I really can't see us getting three if we were 2-0 down. At
Yeah.
this rate, things aren't clicking as much as they could be. So that would have been a tough task. So we're kind of in agreement there. Just to end on a positive note, because I don't want to be so negative, and I really do feel like we can get this job done. I'd like to ask you, um, if you have any, your round of 16 Champions League knockout favorite memory.
Ooh, that's a good question. Who did we beat last time? Spurs? Was it the Spurs? Was that round of 16?
I feel like it was, because then we played Real Madrid in the
Right,
quarters.
right. So that game was great. The Dybala and Higuain duo just was great. And then the quote after the game from Kellini saying, it's in the
It's the
Spurs
history.
history to be, yeah, to choke or whatever it was. But like that was a great year. That was, unfortunately, it didn't end well, but that was yeah, that was a great game. That one.
Yeah, that was a classic. It's a good show. For me, it would be the 2015 season. Um, Allegri's first season with us, when we made the final. I believe we played Borussia Dortmund in the round of 16,
That's a good one
and
too.
it was a tough, tie to get so early. Um, but I just remember Carlos Tevez
Yeah.
and Morata, the whole way along, but specifically in that tie, we just dominated. And that goal that Tevez did, that banger of a goal. So for me, I guess that would be my round of 16 um, memory, and I hope, with the same guy leading the lines in Morata, we can mimic that near success this season. thank you for coming on, Daniel. Um,
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure you'll be a regular here, because you're impressed with my takes on here.
On Aaron Ramsey, of course. Just love your takes on Aaron Ramsey.
Don't worry, I'll rep. I do have a Bernardeschi jersey, right?
Wow. I wouldn't have expected that. I have one too, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and it's actually on the one against Tottenham, that yellow one. I got
Oh,
his
okay. Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah. That's
his
a nice one.
I got his name on the back. So, I was there. You heard it here first that we're gonna take away a 2-0 win and advance into the quarterfinals. Um, so I want to say thank you again to Daniel and to everyone who have has watched this episode of reJUVEnation. You can follow Daniel on Twitter, at Daniel Luch,
Yes, correct.
and you can follow me on Twitter at Monica Loriola and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Everything will be posted within the video. Fino alla fine, Forza Juventus.